Okay, something unique about this resort, if you look at the back on the tree, if you concentrate on the branches, you will actually see some bird nests hanging downwards, and this actually belongs to a bird called burung tempua. And again, I would reiterate that it's a nice site for bird lovers as well as nature watchers, because the whole surrounding is actually quite ecological. The unique part about this golf course is the tin mining history in the state of Perak. What we'll be doing later on is basically to do the investigation on the actual dredging machine. Some example of the dredging machine that is kept outside the bar area of this golf course. And meet Mr. Kenny Yap, who's the CEO of Clearwater Sanctuary. I've got a few questions I would like to pose to Mr. Kenny Yap. What I would like to know is the idea of this golf resort. How did it actually start?
In the 60s to 70s, it was mined. First by AMTB and then changed to MMC. After that, it was mined by my uncle, a friend of my family's, Tan Sri Ahmad Azizuddin. And when the tin mine stopped, he was a golfer. He decided to do his own golf course. Got my family involved, and then we got other friends involved, and this is what happened. Okay,
and how long did the concept, say for example, when you had the idea in your mind, to basically create the whole golf course, what was the timeline that you had to basically endure to get it all ready for?
The planning started in the 80s, 1982 to 1986, 87. Then we started actually clearing the land and all that. And the first nine, 94, second nine, 96, the clubhouse, 96, the resort about the year 2000. So everything here was completed in the year 2001.
Okay. Okay. Another interesting feature that I noticed on this golf course is bits of the old tin dredge that we have just outside the restaurant. If you could maybe talk us through that, and then also maybe let us know what are the other interesting features here. Yes, it's also meant for people who enjoy golf, but if there's any other aspect that could attract people to come here to visit the place, basically to enjoy the surroundings, if you could just maybe take us through that as well.
When we started this, we wanted to bring back mining, so we decided to buy part of dredges, buckets and stuff like this, and we got an artist to do that mining feature about the year 1997. The other nature features of this golf course, we've been rated the top 2 in the country, top 5 in the country for the last 15 years by Golf Malaysia. We were rated by Asia Golf Monthly as the 6th best golf resort in Asia in the year 2000, I think. And then the other feature here is the beauty of the trees. The architect did well to maintain the trees, the rain trees. And because of that, the wildlife happened. Wildlife somehow grew. Birds, iguanas, fishes, we have otters and all that. And other than just the natural environment, we have the water bodies. There's 400 acres of water in which fishing is a big activity here, of which we replenish it every 2 years. We have also badminton, tennis, cycling, archery, swimming, gymnasium, and we have a 30-room chalet called Seri Damai, which was voted the best hotel by PAM in the year 2004. And also, as I said, we have just lately done 3 golf professional tournaments: the ADT, the PGM, and the PGM. So we are trying to grow, and our next plan is to make this a 5-star resort by bringing in maybe more hotel rooms and maybe a big hotelier.
Talk about the signature hole of this golf course.
We have 2 nines, basically 3, but the main 18 is the Lakes 9 and Rain Tree 9. Rain Tree 9 is full of rain trees. It's the first time that we built in 1994, and Lakes 9 is 1996. Lakes 9 is basically every hole, there's lakes on the left or the right side. The signature holes here are, I would say, on the Lakes 9, it will be the 17. It's a par 3, 150 over water with pink and white lotuses. And the other signature hole will be the 8, will be the 9 on the Lakes 9. It's a long par 4, but it's actually a par 5. It's very, very difficult ending hole.
Okay, and I also understand that you actually had a designer in from Australia. Could you maybe explain to us what was the special sort of unique thing about his design that captured your attention compared to the others in Malaysia and overseas?
I suppose we were lucky to have him, and he was lucky to have us. He didn't actually have any golf course experience. He had 2 golf course experience in Australia, but he was a friend's pro's recommendation. He came in, and what he said was very interesting. His main terminology was, it must fit like a glove. That means you don't change what God has given you, but just improve on it. So we were lucky to have him, and we hope that he will do more of jobs like this in Malaysia one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me introduce you to another important person here this morning, Mr. Alexander. And please meet Mr. Tualang, who's the CEO of Clearwater Sanctuary. And we're actually standing in front of a specimen of the old tin mining dredge. And I would actually pass it over to Mr. Alexander to explain the importance of the feature. He's had lots of working experience in the tin mining industry as an engineer. So I'll pass it over to you, Mr. Alexander.
Thank you. I have been with the MNC group of mines for about 20 years. So perhaps I can enlighten you on the details here. Over here, we have one of the heaviest parts of the dredge, and this is called the bottom tumbler. And over here, we have got part of a bucket bend. The bucket bend actually operates as a linked chain right across the ladder, and it comes round this bottom tumbler, and then a motor at the top drives the bucket bend to excavate the gravel from the ground, and it goes up to the top tumbler, and then it drops into the chute, and from the chute it goes into the treatment plant. Each of these bucket weighs close to 5 tons. And on an average operating dredge, there are about 100 of this bucket bend, and that's made of manganese steel. There's very heavy wear and tear on this, so maintenance is a very expensive affair. And they normally carry out maintenance twice a week to build the lips that gets worn out.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny, for a wonderful opportunity to
Thank you very much for coming here.
Yeah. And I'll definitely be back to enjoy the nature.
Okay, thank you.
Because I'm a nature lover.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot again.
Thank you.
We're standing in front of the last dredge in the state of Perak, in a town called Tanjung, Tualang. And I'll basically reintroduce you to Mr. Alexander, who's standing next to me here, who will also give you a better explanation of the dredge.
Thank you, Salin. This dredge used to be the number 5 dredge of Southern Malayan Dredging. It ceased operation sometime in the later part of 1977 due to depletion of viable mining land. Now, looking at the dredge, we see the bucket bend in front, and the bucket goes round the bottom tumbler, which is a rotating wheel on which the bucket runs. In order to mine at different depths, the whole ladder is lowered by operating the wire rope sheath that we can see up there. And as it goes down, the bucket scoops the gravel, the tin bearing gravel, and it takes up into the dredge to drop into the chute through a screen and into the jigs where primary treatment is carried out. The dredge itself is on a pontoon which is floating in a pool called a paddock. This paddock is originally excavated, and the dredge pontoon is constructed and floated into the paddock. Thereafter, the dredge is erected on the pontoon.
Okey, pertama kali saya masuk dalam dalam tu saya ingat. Okey. Ini untuk sejarah Saya punya anak-anak pun terkejut tengok sebab sebelum ni kita tak pernah tengok lagi. So sekarang bila dah masuk dalam ada experience, okey lah ingat. Baguslah untuk saya punya anak-anak masuk saya sendiri pun sebab first time datang.
Abang jatuh.
Alright. We are basically standing on the dredge pontoon. The pontoon is basically a tank that is floating in water, and this is the bucket, and this bucket is linked in the form of a chain by using bucket pins, which are these. These are what we call bucket pins. These pins, the front eye and the back eye of the bucket is linked up, and it is connected by the pin, right? And by that connection, we can get the whole bucket band linked up in the form of a chain to go right round the ladder. This is the ladder.
Okay.
So the ladder is a structure on which the buckets run.
Okay.
Alright? Now we mine at different heights by manipulating the front end of the ladder. It can be lowered and it can be raised by operating the wire rope sheet that can be seen at the top there.
Okay.
Alright? So the bucket band is driven by the top tumbler, which is driven by a motor to go round. The bottom tumbler is just an idler to facilitate movement of the buckets.
Okay. And how many buckets can actually go onto the ladder? And I also see that each bucket is given a number. Do they signify anything?
The buckets are all numbered to facilitate effective maintenance and to maintain a record of the deterioration and repairs done on the bucket. The band here has approximately 100 to 120 buckets, all linked up in a closed circuit chain that runs up.
Okay. And how much do these buckets weigh in weight?
Each of these bucket weighs approximately 5 tons.
Okay.
5 tons. Okay. So our hoist up here is designed to carry a load of 20 tons. So normally when maintenance is done, buckets are connected in and dismantled at 4 at a time, which amounts to 20 tons, so that the hoists are capable of lifting and unloading.
So you also need a certain amount of rest time as well, whilst the operation is being carried out with the buckets?
No, basically the dredges used to operate 24 hours, and it stops twice a week for maintenance. When they carry out inspection of the buckets, they carry out welding of the bucket lips to cater for the wear and tear on the bucket.